A tense situation that played out for hours outside of an Illinois ICE facility yesterday as 15 anti-ICE protesters were arrested while clashing with state police. Chief U.S. Border Patrol Operating Commander Greg Bovino is in charge of Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago. He's been there for days. Chief, thanks for joining us today. What is your reaction to what is a tense situation you saw in that video, but really it's been going on for days there, endangering your agents and now state police?
Thank you for watching. Welcome to the show. Deeply disgusted. And today, we got these two guys that kind of look like brothers telling us that ICE got attacked again. They got some weird faces, especially the one on the right. I can hardly look at him.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me. That is indeed a tense situation there at Broadview. It's been that way for several weeks, as you say, and no let up in sight. So a lot of tempers flaring there with those protesters, but we're ready. Broadview is protected, and although the National Guard's not there, Griff, that facility's protected. We're not going to let anything happen to our agents, officers, or those detainees. And I must say, Illinois Highway Patrol is doing a good job.
Well, and Chief, what do you make of the fact?
Oh, so Illinois Highway Patrol is helping out? I thought the governor didn't want none of the officers to help out. Interesting.
That the governor of Illinois, Pritzker, and the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, claims to, in his words, be the leader of this resistance. What do you say to them?
Griff, I think they've even used that term rebellion now. So what I can say is that when President Trump uses the term insurrection, well, he was right yet again. What's the rebellion over, Griff? Is the rebellion over upholding criminal illegal aliens over American citizens? Is that what the argument is here? Because that's what it seems like. And it's a sad state of affairs for the governor and the mayor. You talk about misplaced priorities.
When
I can't wait. I'm waiting on the day. Everything I felt in my soul that Trump was going to do, he did it. He did it. You see, what a lot of y'all don't know, because a lot of y'all are kind of dumb. What a lot of y'all don't know is that the United States was built off of tariffs. And I know that from a class that I had a while ago. You see, a lot of y'all never really even had classes in any college class. A lot of y'all, I'm not saying you got to get no master's or anything, but a lot of y'all don't. You didn't even put yourself through class. Even if you didn't go to school, go to the library, read some history books. But I learned from a class that the tariffs built America. Google it. I learned in class from a very good professor. I think he worked at like Harvard at one point. He was a brilliant English history teacher. And he taught me that tariffs built America, and we had a textbook that was stating that. That was before Google and all this stuff. We had this is when we was reading textbook and we was highlighting pages, to gain an understanding. We was going back, we was reading the chapters over and over and over and over, not watching somebody on TikTok. You know what I mean? But when I learned in that class that United States had a surplus in capital, so much that they branched out, and that's why the rest of the world was built. That's why the United States built the rest of the world, like the Korean War, the Philippines. They started building an establishment there because they had so much money. And I said, if Trump come back, he gonna bring back those tariffs. And now the situation is going on in Illinois. Y'all mark my words, and I don't care what y'all say in those comments. Y'all mark my words. The governor or the mayor will get locked up through a signed order for treason.
You know, you're to be commended for the work you're doing. Yesterday, I was highlighting the violent illegal alien criminals that have been taken off the streets during Operation Midway Blitz, which includes convicted murderers and child rapists, among many others. But yet, in all of this, it's put agents' lives at risk. You specifically had an alleged bounty put on your head, $2,000 to kidnap you, $10,000 to take you out. But yet the lawyer for the alleged suspect is painting this individual as some sort of Illinois family man. They write this: Juan has resided in the U.S. for 30 years, and throughout his time in Chicago, he has had no prior criminal history or gang affiliation. He even coaches his kids' sports teams. Juan is innocent of these charges. Juan, his family and supporters remain steadfast in their confidence in his innocence and his character as a hardworking, law-abiding member of society.
Juan, you need to get your little Juan ass out of here. You're illegal. We don't care how many kids you raise and how many people you coached in soccer, okay? Go coach soccer in Mexico, okay? Comprende?
Your reaction, sir?
So here we have a hardworking Illinois man. It's amazing how that narrative plays over and over and over. I'll tell you what he was hardworking at. He was hardworking at being a illegal alien gang member. The Latin Kings was the gang he was affiliated with. He was also very hardworking at trying to kill, maim, or injure federal law enforcement agents. And unfortunately, that bounty.
Juan, you was a gang member, bro. Juan, look at me, man. You was a Latin king. You can't be a terrorist and also be a good family man. You just can't. You can't.
He still stands and has actually risen because Griff, the Latin Kings are associated with drug cartels, i.e. terrorist organizations. So those bounties remain and in fact have actually increased because of this, quote, hardworking man.
And it's so crazy that somebody that's not even from the country could get a lawyer and fight for justice with rights that people who was born here like me, people who came from immigrant families like me, my family came from a country called Panama. You know what I'm saying? My mom and dad had to perfect their English because they only majority knew Spanish, even though they been knew English because in Panama you know English. But it's hard when you come to America and in certain things it's like, what is that? You know? Juan, Juany boy, you gotta go, bruh. We don't got space for you here, bruh. We been here for a long time. You just got here, bro. You taking my money too. We need bitches, bro. My kids and everybody, kids and this kids, everybody complaining their kids don't got good school. There's too much people in the classes. The education already sucks. There's so much stuff that's already bad. We don't need an extra wine.
It's unbelievable.
It's frightening to hear you say, Chief, that these bounties have increased. I've only got about 15 seconds, but quickly, how concerned are you that if this continues to escalate, one of your men and women could lose their lives?
Absolutely, and that's what we're focused on now is conducting that mission, but conducting that mission in a very non-permissive environment. Let me tell you, the mission will continue. We will accomplish the mission, and it's a tough situation out there on the streets of Chicago.
It's very sad, very, very sad that you can't even be a president and take control of cities that you feel are out of control without the governor and the mayor telling the public to fight back against crime? Wow. IQ is very important, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that said, we're going to get into the next story, and it's basically very sad. I mean, with all this you got going on with ICE and the president trying to get these migrants up out of here, there's still many of them still here trying to still work on our tax dollars. Like they're still doing ride shares, they're still doing Uber Eats. With all of this going on, it seems to leave people like me who was born here like dumbfounded. Like I would have been left. I would have been left. I don't go where I'm not wanted. I don't.
Conducted a sweep at a parking lot today for rideshare drivers. The parking lot is just steps from O'Hare Airport. Our Regina Waldrop has been there for several hours. Regina, federal agents were there twice today now?
Yeah, Natalie, they were. The last.
Hey, Virginia. Hey, Regina. She's a nice looking older woman, but you know what, though? You gotta take it down on the makeup. You gotta take it down 2 or 3 more shades, baby girl, because you're looking like 2 different chocolate bars, okay?
Last time around 2:15, and we were here to catch them in action. So here's what they were asking of drivers. Are you a U.S. citizen, and do you have proof? And one of the agents even came up to me, asked me the same question. But here's what I want you to do. Take a.
Yes, that's what they do. They are here to make sure everybody's a U.S. citizen. What else they supposed to do? You gotta go around. You gotta, hello, are you a U.S. citizen? Can I see your ID, ma'am? I don't care if you're holding a mic and have a lime green jacket on, okay? You can still be from Mexico.
Take a look at this parking lot. It's about 50, 60 cars here, but I am told it is usually packed with several hundred rideshare vehicles, but not today. And also keep in mind, some of the vehicles here were towed away. So federal agents were everywhere.
She said not today. The cars are no longer. She said it's usually filled, and now it ain't filled no more. That deserves an applause. That deserves an applause.
And what is known as Alpha Lot. It is a desert.
Yo, Colito, you calm down, buddy. You calm down. You take it, you tranquilo. Tranquilo, or we put you in the lockup. Okay?
So federal agents were everywhere in what is known as Alpha Lot. It is a designated spot for rideshare drivers. Several people were handcuffed and taken into custody. In all, we'd say agents were here for about 15 to 20 minutes, and they showed up in nondescript white minivans. This was the second time today that ICE had come.
His shoulders said U.S. border control. Because Trump cleaned up the border, there's nobody going across the border anymore. There's nobody going across the border anymore. So now they have the manpower to send thousands and thousands and thousands of ICE border control. Remember, they're usually at the border, Canada and Mexico. And now they're able to control crime as far as immigration in Chicago. That's amazing, yo.
Come here. Here is what one driver told us happened around 10 o'clock this morning.
Look at the truck. Border control.
It was pretty surprising to see him up here, though, honestly. I'm like, I ain't even see him. I was sitting in the lot for a nice little minute, and I pulled out, and they was like all around.
Bro, do me a favor, man. When you get dreads, You got to make sure you tie it into a ponytail, not like a half a ponytail, bro. What are you trying to do? You trying to go for the predator look? You trying to go for the predator look, bro? You have to put the whole thing in a ponytail. You got to hold it back. If you need help, if your arms are too fat and can't reach back there, you need to get yourself a girl, man, and have her do it for you. Because what she'll do, she'll grab it here and she'll put it back and she'll put a little rubber band and she'll make sure you're good, okay? Don't say no joke and never taught you nothing, man.
So the union representing rideshare drivers has issued a statement that says, in part, we are deeply concerned that the drivers' due process rights were violated at O'Hare today. This is part of a broader pattern of attacks on immigrant families by an administration that continues to.
This is what I don't like. They say immigrant families. Listen, I would sue them just based off of that. What immigrant families? They're illegal. You're confusing. My family are immigrants. They had to take tests and pay money and, fill out for drop. It was not easy for them. It took many years. These people are illegal immigrants. And this company should be fined because you're giving a statement snitching on yourself, basically. You're snitching on yourself. You're saying that leave our employees' rights has been violated. Why are you hiring illegal migrants? Why are you hiring illegal migrants?
To weaponize fear and division instead of investing in solutions in our communities. We're working diligently to gather more information. So back out here live, we have reached out to the Department of Homeland Security to find out how many people were taken into custody and why, and we hope to have that information for you when we come back.
I wouldn't even tell them if I was Homeland. I'd be like, what? So what? What you want to know, ma'am? Ma'am, what do you want to know? This is federal business. Are you a federal agent? What do you want to know? It's a lot of them. And we're going to keep locking them up all the way to the end of Trump's term, which is 3 years. We are not even a year in. And guess what? We might lock you up too for wearing that ugly green jacket.